It was Confucius who said, "Study the past if you would define the future." Historical pictures allow us to do just that. They depict some of the most important moments of the days gone by, which we can turn back to and analyze one image at a time. And learn something new with each one of them, whether it's an old photo from a family album or a snapshot that made it to the history books. World War I Memorial. The full Tiananmen Square massacre Tank Man photo is more powerful than the cropped version. The Sioux Nation of Native Americans teepee spread across the Great Plains in 1800s. A picture of Dr. Religa monitoring his patient's vitals after completing a 23-hour-long heart transplant. His assistant is asleep in the corner. 1987. A photo of an engineer wiring an early IBM computer, 1958. Photo by Berenice Abbott. Ladder 118 fire truck crossing the Brooklyn Bridge to the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. Every firefighter on the truck died shortly after. David Isom, 19, broke the color line in a segregated pool in Florida on June 8, 1958, which resulted in officials closing the facility. Unknown soldier in 1965. An American mother and daughter hold the American flag in the early 1900s. Over 3,000 workers who build the Chase Manhattan Bank in New York City pose for a photo near the end of constructional work, August 1964. Silent film actress Dolores Costello, Drew Barrymore's grandmother, 1928. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Sturm is greeted by his family, returning home after more than 5 years as a prisoner of war in North Vietnam. This young boy was born in 1924 and he is 2 years old in this photo. He died in 1944 in France on AS Tanker. His name is Lonzo Hudgens and he received a Purple Heart in WW2. Kids these days don't know the struggle, 1990s. Remember that photo of the construction workers having lunch on an unfinished New York skyscraper? Well, here's the photographer Charles Ebbets. September 20, 1932. The Huffy radio bicycle from the 1950s. American athlete Jesse Owens fills up a car at a petrol station in his uniform of cap, shirt and bow tie. Owens worked as a petrol pump attendant to help finance his studies at Ohio State University. United States, 1935. Mark Twain, Samuel L. Clemens, and his longtime friend John T. Lewis, probably Twain's inspiration for the character Jim and Huckleberry Finn, standing together at Quarry Farm, Elmira, New York, 1903. Blackfoot Native Americans on the roof of the McAlpin Hotel, refusing to sleep in their rooms, New York City. An immigrant family at New York's Ellis Island is about to embark on the chase of their dreams. The 1900s. New York. 1957. Thirteen sisters in the Brooks family view their only brother, Leslie Benjamin, following his birth at home in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, 1954. Mount St. Helens eruption, 1980. Photo by R. Lasher. Federal Reserve Bank, New York, 1959. Photo Orman Geely. This is George W. McLaurin in 1948 being segregated from the rest of his university class. Madison Square, New York City ca. 1900. Marilyn Monroe photographed by Sam Shaw in Amagansett, New York, 1957. Telephone tower, before they figured out bundling lines into cables. There are 5,000 lines in this tower, 1890. Homecoming prisoner of war, 1946. 1984 New York City subway ride. The teenage daughter of an impoverished Arkansas farmer cooking on an old stove while her mother was in a tuberculosis sanitarium during the Great Depression. Red Cross photo from CA, 1930. An Italian child arriving at Ellis Island, early 1900s. Us. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, photographed in New York City by Richard Avedon, 1963. Men in suspenders posing on the Brooklyn Bridge. In 1938, 1,800 veterans of the Civil War attended an 75th anniversary reunion at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The youngest was 88 years old, and the oldest claimed to be 112 years old. A man recording a cassette tape at a music festival in the 1980s. May 1922, 78-year-old Robert T. Lincoln, son of Abraham Lincoln, is helped up the steps at the dedication of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. A dangerous playground from the 1970s. An immigrant family on the dock at Ellis Island after having just passed the rigid examination for entry into the country, looking hopefully at New York's skyline while awaiting the government ferry on August 13, 1925. One of the first traffic signals in New York City, 1922. Somewhere along the Pacific Coast Highway between Malibu and Palisades, CA, 1910. A well-dressed young lady in the 1930s. Almost looks like it could have been taken yesterday. Sophia Loren gives Jane Mansfield the side eye. 1957. A Victorian home being moved on Steiner Street via horsepower, 1908, San Francisco. Kitchen retro. Combo sink/stove/fridge. A 16-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger at his first bodybuilding competition. The arrival of the Statue of Liberty on June 17, 1885. The Statue of Liberty was a gift of friendship from the people of France to the people of America. Traveling knife sharpener with a customer. United States, early 1910s. People decorating a saguaro like a Christmas tree in southern Arizona, circa 1930s. Arizona Historical Society. Christmas, early 1900s.